Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me, as always, is the whistler to my blade, Nate.
Father!
That was weird. I feel like I should have auto-tuned that or something. Would have been a badass Creed cover or something.
That's not what I was going for. So thank you for that response. That was not going that way.
Happy to help. God, and of course, our queen of unsuspecting victims, Lisa.
Why did they make a second one of these movies?
Money is the answer. As Mr. Krabs would say, welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, where each week we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim, who's usually not someone we would consider a horror fan. Nate, okay, look, I gotta tell you, we pitched this to our group of unsuspecting victims, and we will have some of them coming back here soon. It's been a little bit of a crazy time for our circle here. But man, you were trying to sell this movie to everyone and no one was biting. No takers for Blade 2. This week.
A lot of people were biting in this movie.
It was just not any additional unsuspecting victims that we were hoping for.
Although, the problem with this movie is that it sells itself. I didn't need to do anything. That was probably my mistake.
Maybe. Well, and you kept undercutting it by saying, but it's not the one with Ryan Reynolds or Triple H. And I think you were undercutting Donnie Yen and Chris Christopherson, and I'm blanking on the third person you kept mentioning. That was not as big of a deal to our group of friends as
Ron Perlman. Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Come on,
yeah, Hellboy, right? I mean,
yeah, come on. He's contractually obligated to be in every Guillermo del Toro movie. So
fair. So it'll be just the three amigos here, just hanging out talking about Blade 2. What a blast from the past this movie was. We're going to get into it because I'm curious. I haven't seen this movie since I saw it in theaters. Nate, I'm assuming you've watched this movie at least on a monthly basis.
I see this movie at least 8 times.
I'd say it's a higher number. Lisa, first time you've
it's
seen
like
it, right?
5 to 8. 5 to 8 times.
Okay. Lisa, and this is your first time seeing this film.
Yes.
All right. Well, we are going to get into it. I am excited. I hope you're excited for week 2 of Guiller-May del Toro, which is the most impossible thing to say fast. But which is Nate has high-fived himself about this name since he came up with this.
I'm very
3
pleased
months
with
ago.
It. Very pleased with this.
So I think, it's what we can do. Regardless, we're going to get into it. Let's start with this week's debate question.
Bid our father, the Sea King, rise from the depths full, foul in his fury. Black waves teeming with salt foam, to smother this young mouth with pungent slime.
There's a lot of pungent slime in this one, so this would be right at home for Willem Dafoe. All right, so look. This unknowingly to I think a lot of people, maybe not as many as I think. I certainly didn't know this, at least at the time when all this came out. But this is a Marvel film. It doesn't have the big MCU and Marvel opening, but Blade is a Marvel character. And I guess I just have to ask, what is the best horror comic book adaptation you've seen? Because there's Blade, in any of the Blade's work. Morbius just came out. I venture maybe Venom could be considered one.
Venom.
Lisa has tried to convince Nate that the new Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is in fact a horror movie. And we might discuss that. And I guess there may be others. Lisa, I'm gonna kick this off to you. What do you think is maybe the best like horror comic book film adaptation?
Seriously, Mitchell.
Huh?
You knew which one I was gonna say, and you said it anyway.
I said a number. I said a number of them. Which one were you?
Stole her thunder. So you tried to steal all of her thunder, all the chances. I see how it is.
All right.
So, Mitch and I got to see the new Doctor Strange already, opening day. And yeah, I don't have to convince. It is a horror movie. It's got everything. It's got demons. It's got Cthulhu. I can never say that. Cthulhu-like characters. It's got zombies, witches. I don't know how you don't say it's a horror movie. There were a lot of really creepy parts in it. Mm-hmm. Some of the, I don't even know what you call it, like the contortionist kind of, movements and stuff that were creepy.
Was there like a billion back breaks, like in The Conjuring? Was it like that kind of contorting?
Not a billion, but there were a few that were well done. There was a lot of let me look through this really tiny hole to see what's there, and then an eyeball suddenly pops up. There was, it's the multiverse of madness. So I'm not spoiling anything saying it's the multiverse. There were other universes where things were bleak. So yeah, I definitely think it was a horror movie. I think there were parts of it that I was sitting there, and I love Marvel movies. I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, why am I watching this? So that to me is the best one that's out right now. And I know, Mitch, you've been talking about it since the trailer dropped, how it was going to be more scary and more horror-like, and it definitely delivered on that aspect.
Yeah, it is much more of a Sam Raimi film than it is a Marvel film. And take that for better or worse. But it reminded me a lot more of like Drag Me to Hell than just kind of a typical kind of MCU Marvel film. It's to me, it would be, it's certainly more of a, I would call it a gateway horror film, right? Like it's not going to be anything that would you're gonna have nightmares about by any stretch, but I think for younger fans and younger unsuspecting victims, it's gonna be a perfect introduction. And particularly if they're into that, then you can start bringing them into other of the Sam Raimi stuff. But it's very much a Doctor Strange and an Evil Dead film. That's the best way to describe it. Nate, what about you? Where would you go with this?
Well, you
love Marvel films, so I'm assuming that absolutely not. So, Blade 2 is great. So I'm just going to discount Blade 2 for now. Previous episode, Constantine has got to be
that's a good one too.
High up in the rankings, for sure. Obviously, horror cuts down on the amount of movies dramatically. I might say that's a little controversial, but I loved it when it came out. Loved it. I don't think a lot of other people loved it, but I loved the vibe of 1997's Spawn.
Man, Spawn. I have not thought about Spawn in years.
Yeah. It took me a little bit. I was like, wait, was it? I was like, wait, wasn't like Martin Sheen the bad guy? I'm trying to like,
John Leguizamo is the fat
President Bartlett
is the fat clown.
The clown.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Violator. Yeah.
What that was. It was probably the age that I watched it at, but I thought that was creepy as hell. Just the weirdest, strangest vibe.
Yeah. Lisa, do you know what Spawn's about?
No.
Okay, so I'll set the scene here, and Nate can fill in additional details. Spawn is about a assassin who, is working. I can't remember if it's his partner or his boss or whatever, but I think it's his partner. But he goes on this mission and ends up getting betrayed and killed. And because he's been an assassin and been killing people forever, he goes to hell, where Satan basically asks him to command his armies and take over Earth. So he has this really badass like Doctor Strange cloak, which apparently if you have a cloak, that's a winning success for a somehow anthropomorphic cape thing. That seems to be a winning factor for this group. But he basically comes back to Earth, but then he sees like his wife, and his wife's gotten with his partner, and it's been a few years too, so it's not just immediate, but he's trying to grapple with all of that while Satan's also like, hey, get to killing, you know. It's a really interesting. The movie itself is something. To be fair, I enjoyed it as well, because I was about to say.
But you know me. The vibe of the movie can sometimes be enough for me, and this movie's got all of the vibe.
Yeah,
it is just dark.
Yeah, and there was an HBO animated version that was really good. Yep. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna send Lisa a picture of at least, maybe not the movie, but at least kind of the adaptation. It's a darker source material, right? So it's just a darker movie in general. Plus, it has Melinda Clarke from the OC in it. So just one more OC reference to put on top. There it is.
But yeah, no, the Spawn. I remember the Spawn cartoon. Well as well. I think I believe that was much more well regarded.
Yes.
This movie. But yeah, actually both great. I'm just going to combine both. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spawn. Look up Spawn. All you youngins. It's something. I don't think it's aged very well. It doesn't matter. It was incredible when it came out.
Spawn really was kind of like a dark Doctor Strange. Right, like he's got the same weird like cloak and everything.
So better is what you're saying. Okay, got it.
Okay, John Leguizamo was a weird casting choice for that movie, and probably not the weirdest. I'll put it that way.
John Leguizamo was in, and I remember because I rented both of these movies as a way too young kid. But I remember he was in The Pest and Spawn in a very close proximity of time. Could not be two more different characters. Yeah. At all. So yeah, check out Spawn.
Oh my gosh. No.
Also PG-13. These are two PG-13 movies. There you go.
Now this one, what I have on my list was, I believe, an actual I guess it was a manga beforehand, right? So Japanese, because of course it would be for me. Although I will say, I think I watched the movie before I ever actually read it. And it's Riki-Oh, the story of Riki-Oh.
That's the one where the guy gets grinded into nothing, right?
Yes.
That's that one? Okay. Yeah.
Where he basically goes to prison and punches a clean hole straight through someone, puts someone else in a meat grinder. It is, Lisa, you want to talk about a horror film that you would hate? It is a martial arts film.
Is it a horror film? I don't know how to.
But it's super violent, and maybe it's it's like an action horror film, but he's basically in a death match. I don't know. We did Running Man on the podcast, so if that counts, this counts, right? Also, Edgar Wright is a huge fan of this. So, but I love this movie. I also had, Old Boy is actually a manga as well before it was I think before it also was based off the movie.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit. I think it changed when they made the movie adaptation. But yeah, it was originally a manga.
Well, but you're talking.
So messed up.
Yeah. But you're talking about the remake with Spike Lee, right?
I don't even know how to respond to that.
It's got Elizabeth Olsen in it. Come on. And Josh Brolin. Oh my God. They're both from the Marvel. Who's not Marvel? It's got Samuel L. Jackson.
Dude,
I keep forgetting.
Everyone.
Those are the top people in the movie. I don't know who else is in the movie.
Everyone in Marvel's there now.
Yeah, they're all there. So there you go.
Yeah, man. Ricky O was really good. Although to be fair, while I love Doctor Strange, I really love the Spawn pick because there's me back in middle school would have like marked out hard that answer, Nate.
Okay. And that was my audience.
Yeah.
So,
what do y'all think about before we move on and get into the review? What about The Crow? Because Lisa, you've never seen The Crow, right?
Yes.
You've seen The Crow.
I think you made me watch it once.
No, I don't. I've never made you watch it.
No,
because it's been too long since I've seen The Crow, and
Then maybe I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I have a nice tie-in for The Crow later in the episode. So.
Oh God. Well,
exciting.
I wasn't trying to set you up, but there we are.
You did.
Yeah. The Crow is fantastic. And it's criminal that we haven't done it sooner. And very similar to Spawn, right? Like murdered musician. He comes back, doesn't have a cool cape, but still kind of that whole like
capes are overrated. I don't know. Capes.
Yeah. He doesn't just some crows in this case.
I thought Lisa was for sure going to say Walking Dead, but no, take it or leave it.
Yeah. I don't know. Zombies are zombies.
Yeah.
Okay. Zombies are zombies. All right. Can't beat that.
Zombies be zombies.
Zombies be zombies. Well, look, those are our picks. We want to hear, what would you have picked? Let us know at TexasPodcastMassacre@gmail.com, TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, and Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. You, as always, can call us on our hotline, 346-246-3143. Again, if you call, there is a not zero chance that I will accidentally pick this up in the middle of the day. So you might get a hold of me.
Do it.
No one's tricked me yet. But one day it'll happen. But we'll see. So give us a call there, 346-246-3143. And as always, leave us your 5-star reviews. And if you have a review request, put it on there and we will put it on priority on the list. As soon as we get done with Guiller-May del Toro, we've got Slither coming up your way from a 5-star review.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, Lisa, I'm so excited. And actually,
so excited.
Funnily enough, like I said, person who left that review for you, I feel like you left it pick that movie for you, Lisa, but it was coming out of a good place. Like they're like, I think you'll like this. I think you'll legitimately like this. And I
would say a meaning well. Yeah, they mean well.
They mean well.
Will it turn out that way?
We'll find out. Well, it's got Nathan Fillion. I mean, Lisa, you're a fan of Nathan Fillion. Elizabeth Banks is in it. I mean, and you've seen The Thing, so I mean, I think you're ready. I think you are more than ready for Slither. Cannot wait. That'll happen after Guiller-May del Toro. But we can't look too far in advance. We can't, Nate, you're a sports guy like I am. You can't look past this week's opponent. You've got to get through.
Yeah, you got to slam dunk that grand slam.
That said, we are going to get into this week's movie of the week, Blade 2.
There's a world beyond the one we know. where the powers of darkness fear nothing but one man. Stop! Blade.
We represent the ruling body of the vampire nation. They're offering you a truce. They want to meet with you.
You sure about this?
They'll take us in deeper than we've ever been.
Now, those he has sworn to kill need his help to fight a new breed of terror.
They're no longer top of the food chain.
Our forces are ready to fight, but we need a leader.
Let me get this right. You want me to hunt them? For you?
Ooh, so exciting.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. Calling all freaks. Calling all freaks now.
Here I am, Blade. Wesley Snipes.
Not know who you are.
Messing with!
Blade 2.
Calling all freaks now.
God,
So good.
This soundtrack.
So good.
Okay. Whoever, if you're listening to this and you also listen to Why I Hate This Album, start tweeting the shit out of them and tell them you need to
Blade
cover
2.
the Blade 2 soundtrack. I'm mad we didn't save this for that. This soundtrack.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Can we?
Incredible.
Can we? Before we even get into this movie, let's talk about the soundtrack. Lisa, I mean, how much of this techno bullshit did you listen to back in the day?
None.
Oh, I was all
that's
in
so
it, baby.
oh man.
Did I have this CD? You know I did.
Oh my
you
god.
know I did.
I didn't have the CD, but I definitely had all of the songs on it.
Oh yeah, I got the Matrix Reloaded like multi-disc album there. Oh yeah, I had it all of the early 2000s nonsense.
Oh my god.
Incredible stuff.
How much Crystal Method is on this album?
So the thing is that Name of the Game, obviously from the trailer, is not on the soundtrack.
But it's in the movie, right?
Yes, but there's another Crystal Method. There's a Crystal Method song produced by Tom Morello featuring Bubba Sparks. That's how early 2000s these songs are. It ends with Eye Against Eye with a Massive Attack and Mos Def. It's incredible. You got Fatboy Slim on there. There's Paul Oakenfold, obviously. It's got to be there. Cypress Hills and featuring Busta Rhymes is featuring Silk the Shocker featuring Fabulous. I mean, Gorillas and Redman. I mean, it literally does not get any better than this. Incredible.
Did you know the Crystal Method is still playing, Nate? We need to go find they are still performing.
They're still breakdancing. They still have big noses. God. Incredible stuff.
Incredible. All right. So Lisa, as our unsuspecting victim,
so good.
What is besides this amazing soundtrack, what is Blade 2 about?
Blade 2 is about a half vampire hunter who basically battles his way with his incredible martial arts skills. And now his enemies are his friends. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Watching this movie, though, you must have told me this during Blade, but I forgot that Wesley Snipes is like a black belt. 3rd degree, you said, I think?
Like second or 5th degree or something, yeah.
5th degree? Jeez Louise. It really shows in this movie.
The blackness of his belt is like the inside of a coffin on a moonless night.
All right.
That's a Beverly Hills Ninja joke. All right.
For all 5 of you Beverly Hills Ninja fans out there,
there's a lot of ninjas in this movie.
They are marking out hard right now.
There's a lot of ninjas. There's vampire ninjas in this. I figured it was a good crossover.
He's a 5th degree black belt in Shotokan karate and a 2nd degree black belt in Hapkido.
Wow.
He has also studied Brazilian jiu-jitsu, capoeira, and kung fu.
That's crazy.
There you go.
This from an article titled "These action stars could destroy you in real life."
Wow. Good times. Yeah.
In case you were wondering, also Nate, on this list, Sarah Michelle Gellar would destroy you. Apparently,
I do watch her.
Actually, I believe that.
Too.
Scooby-Doo
2. She has some great martial arts moves.
Steven Seagal would have to put down the sandwich to destroy you in this, but he's on this list.
Yeah, that's the problem. I was giving him a sandwich. Problem solved. Then he stopped destroying me.
Anyway, yeah, Nate, what can you tell us about this movie?
Blade 2, 2002 came out as the sequel to, again, one of the better comic book movies, Blade. Basically an improvement in every level. Directed, obviously, by Guillermo del Toro. This is where it gets interesting, Mitch, because there were and also this movie is in the Nate Tyrion collection. There is Blade 2, and Blade Trinity in one DVD or one Blu-ray package it's at $14 on Amazon right now. Go pick this up. This is the best deal Blu-ray wise this side of the Leprechaun collection. So just heads up, check it out. There are 3 commentaries on the Bluray.
Are you sponsored by them and you haven't told
and
me?
I only watched.
Did you pick up a sponsorship and not tell me? What is happening?
No, I didn't. we're sponsored by Blade 2.
By Blade 2.
Incredible. Yeah. the best a man can get. I don't know what's happening. So anyway, the writer on this, which is one of the commentaries, David S. Goyer, he wrote all 3 of the Blade movies. Guillermo del Toro in his commentary mentioned the cock juggling thunder cunt line that Ryan Reynolds says in Blade Trinity to just show how good of a writer this guy is. But let me tell you what this guy is writing now. He is he's the creator of Sandman, the comic book adaptation coming to Netflix, horror comic TV show. Mm-hmm. He's a writer of the new Hellraiser coming on Hulu. He was the writer of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Mm. Yeah. And Call of Duty Black Ops. And Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So there's that. He wrote Batman vs. Superman, one of the writers there. So you got that going for you.
God, was he the guy responsible for the part where they
Martha? Could be.
Oh no,
could be. He wrote the screenplay for Man of Steel. Oh
boy.
Wrote the story for the story for Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance.
Good Jesus.
But and he wrote Crow, City of Angels. So the second one. Okay. Which is the tie-in. But where did he start? He wrote a movie called Death Warrant. He wrote another movie called Kickboxer 2: The Road Back. But his first screenplay was for a little movie called Demonic Toys from a little company called Full Moon Entertainment. And then he did Doll Man versus Demonic Toys, and then they got better from there. So Full Moon Entertainment, the creators of Puppet Master, the creators of Evil Bong, the creators of Ginger Dead Man, got this guy for Demonic Toys, I believe the first one, and Doll Man versus Demonic Toys.
Full Moon, where dreams come, they come true.
Yeah,
right.
And then, can you imagine that you write the screenplay for Demonic Toys? A couple of years later, you get the second Crow movie, and then 2 years after that, you write Dark City and Blade, which come out in the same year. 2 incredible movies followed. Too bad. You got to start somewhere. Sometimes you got to start with Demonic Toys, and then. The characters uncredited for the TV movie Puppet Master vs. Demonic Toys because he wrote the first one, which I will not count. But there's your link to Puppet Master. Oh, and he wrote the screenplay for Puppet Masters. No relation, Mitch.
Yeah, I know.
It's just a weird amount of things happening.
I watched that movie and was highly disappointed. It was not,
where's the dolls?
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the dolls? I don't understand what's happening. Hey, we already went through Guillermo del Toro last time, but I don't know if I mentioned that he's writing Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark 2 for you, Mitch. So he is writing those.
Oh boy.
There you go. See,
there I go with that. Man, sorry, I'm still trying to get over his involvement in Full Moon.
Yeah, he's a Full Moon guy. Yeah,
I'm really excited for when you have to eat crow about Full Moon and that and all of that.
Never happening because they're not good. So
we'll find out.
Makes it easy. Wesley Snipes is in this. Chris Christopherson, Ron Perlman, again, who's contractually obligated to be in every single Guillermo del Toro movie, is here as well. Ron Perlman is in an upcoming movie called Scream Before You Die, which sounds interesting.
Okay.
So he has, I don't know, like 16 movies completed or in post-production. So he's doing fine. The last person I wanted to mention, and we got Norman Reedus, who's Scud in this movie, who you might remember as Daryl from Lisa's favorite TV show, The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Lisa,
whose hair has not changed.
Hair has not changed. Nope.
Yeah,
still smoking cigarettes. All the characters. He's going to be in Boondock Saints 3, which I can't say in those movies. So
they're making a third one.
You know it, and Untitled Carol and Daryl spinoff. Carol and Daryl.
Is that still happening? Because I heard Carol exited the show.
Yeah, to be in Carol and Daryl. I don't know.
No. I mean, she exited the Carol and Daryl show.
Oh, well.
It just came out a few days ago. She's
we'll
apparently not part of that project anymore.
Daryl and Daryl. Oh, maybe it's like he goes crazy and there's two of them.
So what, me, myself, and Irene, and
could be. Yeah. So there's just so many people in this. One person I got to give credit to is one of my favorite people of all time, Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen, who choreographed most of the fight scenes in this movie and was one of the ninjas, the vampire ninjas named Snowman, who was killed because he had no more time to shoot this movie. So he was killed off.
And you're done.
You know what? Thanks for sharing that, because I'm sitting over here being like, man, they did Donnie Yen dirty.
He's the most badass guy. And they're like, we got no time.
He just dies off screen. It's
check him out doing more fighting and actually making it to the end of the movie in such classics as Killzone, Flashpoint, Iron Monkey, and Once Upon a Time in China 2. Those are classics.
Wasn't he in The Legend with Jet Li?
Yeah, so those classic movies I mentioned. Yeah.
That was a good one, though. Okay, but anyway, yeah.
He was an Ip Man, but that's...
Oh, and of course
he was better before Ip Man, is what I will say. Anyway, yeah, Donnie Yen. Yeah, he choreographed some of the fight scenes. So there's 3 movies. There's Blade 2, and Blade Trinity. There is a reboot coming with how do you say his name? Mahershala Ali. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
And there was a Blade TV show, if you remember, from 2006 that went 12 episodes.
Oh, I did not remember that. So
that was donezo after that. There's also a Blade 2 video game that I played. It was not very good. So we got that going. Got that going for us. The Blade movie, I think it's supposed to come out next year. It doesn't have a time, but probably next year.
I appreciate, Nate, that you fell so into Blade 2.
I did. Yep, absolutely. I'm 100% in on it. Yep.
Right. All right. Well, we're gonna get into it. Anything else?
Oh, tagline. There's so many. I'm just gonna pick the best one. Faster, sharper, deadlier.
No.
One man is still the cutting edge.
No.
When evil strikes, one man still has the edge.
Still too much. Still too.
There's so many edges. Yeah, never mind. There's more, but they're all so bad. Those were the best ones.
Ooh, that's not good.
Yeah. So, and Wesley Snipes said this is his favorite Blade movie. So there you go. I'll end on that for now.
This one was his favorite. Did he say why? Just that it was?
I don't know. Probably because it's the best movie.
Oh well, we'll discuss. We will debate. So Nate clearly, loves this movie. So incoming 10 out of 10. Lisa, what did you think about this movie? This is the first time you've seen this movie, and you know it was a few years ago when you've seen the first Blade. So it's been a little bit. So what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was fine. There was a lot of action. Like, I don't remember how many minutes this movie was, but 90% of those minutes were fighting.
It wasn't that much.
It was
a lot. 117 minutes for this one.
117 minutes?
Yes.
100 minutes were fighting? So I can fully appreciate Wesley Snipes' skills. I can fully appreciate Donnie's skills. I didn't need that much fighting. But that's just me. Does Blade fight that much in the comic book? I guess.
Yeah, he's straight up murdering vampires.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about the comics at all. It's however much he fights people in this movie is the perfect amount. No, yeah, it's a lot. It's very action. And for a Guillermo del Toro movie, yeah, this is. Obviously he goes on to Pacific Rim, right? But you can see him started getting into the action on this one for sure. Like quite a bit. What did you think about the action? Did you like it? Did you like Donnie Yen's choreography for some of these fights?
Yeah, it was good. They were well done. Although I was telling Mitch, there's parts where they're fighting. Then there's like a hint of CGI.
Yep.
And I didn't know why they needed that.
He said it was because they wanted to make it like fantastical. Like showing that they're they're actually vampires. Like this isn't like a normal fight.
Okay. I don't really.
It's 2002. How good can the CGI be? You know.
Well,
there's going to be some spots.
When did Matrix Revolutions or when did the second Matrix come out?
Oh, it was the best year of all time, 2003.
Right after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because the CGI looks very similar between those two and some of the action scenes with Neo flying around, some of the fight scenes and everything. Yeah, and what they should have done is just speed up things a little bit, right? And make them, there are other ways when they do these like over the top, like he's doing the fucking Macho Man elbow drop.
There's a lot of wrestling moves. I was wondering what you thought about this.
Rough.
There's a suplex. There's a suplex. There's an elbow drop.
It's the CGI is where it really loses me, and it's just like you've got all these great martial artists, and the action largely is really good. It's the CGI that kept taking me out of it. Like it's so bad.
But in 2002, 20 years ago,
it was bad then too because I had the same reaction then when I first watched this movie. You don't need it. Stop.
It was incredible.
Especially look the first. Who watched the first movie and was like, you know what this needs? Really shitty CGI. I guess Guillermo del Toro did, but
the really shitty CGI wasn't available for the first movie.
The first movie was great. The first movie is incredible, and we'll. I have a feeling we're gonna maybe split a little differently on where this one sits between the two. But Nate, so tell me, this storyline is.
Incredible.
Is something else.
Oh, it's so good. It's so dense. It's got all kinds of things in it. It's basically Frankenstein. It's like a Greek tragedy. The villain is actually the hero the entire movie. It's incredible. Oh, so good.
That's one interpretation of this movie.
Right? No, think about it this way. No Mac, right? who is ostensibly the villain of the movie, is a hero the entire time. You guys catch that?
Is he so much a hero as much as he's just pissed off at his dad? Like, just because he kills like another bad guy doesn't make him the hero.
No, he's the hero. He has a code. He doesn't just kill everybody. He only kills certain people. He basically is getting revenge for how he was mistreated. Right? Pretty good guy.
I still don't know how they didn't know about that guy. Did that make any sense?
Yeah.
I still don't know how the daughter didn't know about that son.
You must not know about me. That would have been an incredible addition, actually, to the
That would have
soundtrack.
been. That would have been. Then I might have been okay with the soundtrack.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna make a custom soundtrack on this one. No, yeah, I mean, so they're and you know, you got one of the better names ever for a villain, Damaskinos, which is incredible. That guy's makeup took 4 to 6 hours every day.
Jeez.
And they were trying to make him look like marble, which I would say success.
Oh,
The guy looks
you think
marbly.
success?
He looked like straight up like white blue marble. That guy's head was Jesus.
I guess.
I was like, don't want to get headbutted from that dude. That'd be brutal. I don't know. What did you think he looked like?
Oh, really? You know what he reminded me of? And I don't know why they always do this. Is it in Dracula? When he looks super, super old at the beginning? Before he turns into Gary Oldman? Or not?
Does he look like that? I mean,
What am I thinking about,
decrepit-ish.
Mitch? Is it that? Decrepit-ish, yeah.
With Gary Oldman, I think that's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Guillermo
right?
del Toro basically said in the commentary.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like the
am-
beginning of the movie, Dracula looks like 500 years old.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why a 500-year-old vampire always looks that bad. Aren't they vampires? Shouldn't they never age?
That's
I
damn
mean,
good question.
Aaliyah looked pretty good in Queen of the Damned. No, Guillermo del Toro said that he thinks that Damaskinos, quote unquote, influenced I Am Legend a few years later, and I totally saw it. Those zombies in I Am Legend were very similar to this guy, like the gray, like the gray kind of like look that they had.
I don't know, but I think at least I may have
Pretty
been
close.
onto it. He looks very similar to Gary Oldman's Dracula and Bram Stoker's Dracula.
But Gary Oldman doesn't have like that gray look. He just has the real decrepit look.
Okay,
Sure.
Nate, move on.
No.
This is the debate.
I just, look, well, when we talk about it, I just mean,
Are you team gray or are you team decrepit? Let us know.
But Guillermo del Toro, I mean, we talk about this.
Asking.
He has great creature designs, and I mean,
Always.
Where
Yes.
I don't necessarily love Papadopoulos, or whatever the hell the main
Damaskinos.
whatever Greek ass
Papadopoulos.
name we gave this guy,
Daddy Papadopoulos.
Yep. The actual vampires are real. Like
So
way to
good.
bring in like the alien face hugger into a vampire design. Especially when they look very much like Nosferatu. Really cool, innovative way to make it like a creepier vampire.
So Guillermo del Toro literally says he is obsessed with vampires. Always has been. Would like seek out Spanish translated books, and he took tons of old vampire lore from around the world to help create this version of the monster. Apparently, some versions of vampires had stingers on their tongues and not fangs, which is how he got the weird tongue part.
Okay.
And there was a thing during the plague times where they thought like some of the people were like coming back to life and like eating the shroud or like that was over their faces, like when they would like get killed by the plague. So they would break their jaws and then hammer them with iron nails into their coffins by their head.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So anyway, combine all those things together, sweet ass vampire designs where your jaw breaks and you have weird tongues and all kinds of stuff.
Nice.
Wild. Yeah. He was like basically waiting his whole life. Like, oh yeah, this was worth it. I'm not creepy. This will make a movie $155 million. So success.
Yeah. The creature design is really cool. I think part of what I like about this movie is like where they go into the nest and there's that whole element of them like having to go in and track them down and like they're all crawling over like sewer rats, you know, coming up down all the pipes and everything. That part's great. It's probably a little bit more zombie-esque if we're talking just like traditional horror creatures, but it's a really cool scene and it's truly the more tense parts of the film. And I'd almost say really once you get past that part, the rest of the last like act of the film is kind of, yeah, it gets into your Greek tragedy bit a little bit.
It's Greek tragedy.
But
I don't know. Kills his dad, kills his sister.
It loses some of the appeal, honestly, because I feel, you know, all of that should have been at the back, like, I don't know. I really like the creature design. I was sad that they got kind of wiped out 2/3 of the way through, and then it becomes whatever the last act is. And like everyone's betraying everyone, but everyone already knows that they were betraying everyone, and it's real weird.
I was like a triple fake out. It was incredible.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What was some of your favorite parts, Lisa, of this one? Too much action, maybe.
Movie?
But what were some of the highlights?
Yeah, there was a lot of. I'm trying to think. What did I like about this movie? I, for the most part, like the acting. I think that the actors did good. Wesley Snipes, Norman Reedus, Chris Christopherson. If you said who the others are, I already forgot. But all the Reapers, is that what they call them? They did fine. And the vampires did fine too. I'm trying to pinpoint something that I liked. I don't know.
I'm just gonna sit here and let that happen. I'm just gonna keep.
I know. I'm just literally replaying the movie in my head and thinking.
It's like, hey,
I think it was funny at the beginning, though.
Yeah.
I think it was funny at the beginning, though, when they go through the backstory for him, like the 30-second recap of "This is my life." It's basically like one of those. You're probably wondering how I got here, but I like how he so intensely says, and then my teacher, whatever, got caught or whatever, and now I'll hunt him down until the end of my days. And then he finds him in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
That's right.
It's like, okay.
It was 2 years. It was 2 years. It was 2 years.
The whole thing with Whistler is weird, right? Like, I'll hunt him down to the end of my days, and I find him. Okay, well, I'm going to cure him, and now he's cured, and there's that. Like, leave him as a vampire for 5 fucking minutes. It was such the weirdest. It was just a weird way to write back in Chris Christopherson and have like no like stakes in it whatsoever. Just like,
no stakes in them. He kept him alive. No stakes.
Oh my God. I didn't even,
so there was some comedy in this. It's not like a pure horror film by any stretch. Wesley Snipes is blowing kisses to his car. He's smiling at dudes he's pointing guns at. There's a few one-liners. Mitch, what's one of your favorite one-liners of all time?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Not from this movie, but it is one of the best.
It
is one of the best quotes in cinematic history, and I will stand by that.
Blade is one of the reasons I like Blade 2 is that, yeah, I mean, like the creature designs are incredible. Lisa, I'm assuming you loved the autopsy of that Reaper.
Oh my God, that was the worst.
It was like the bug in Starship Troopers on steroids. It was hilarious. There's that.
I did not like that jaw opening, expanding predator, whatever it was.
Creepy as hell. Yeah. Awesome.
That was
awesome
the worst.
Stuff. I mean, it was good. And then, but they're still making jokes. Chris Christopherson is just basically saying, punch me in the face, Ron Perlman, the entire movie. Classic stuff. It's not taking itself too seriously, which I appreciate it. You're shooting vampires with UV bullets. I mean, how serious can you possibly be taking this? There's UV light grenades, right? I mean, like, come on, what are we even doing here? It's just good.
I thought the UV grenades were fine. What I didn't understand is why Norman Reedus was just sitting outside in the van like a sitting duck.
He's a lover, not a fighter, according to his character. I don't know.
Yeah, but why was he out there at all? He shouldn't have been there.
I don't know. Well, he had to look like he was part of the team before he before he double crossed Blade.
What a dumb.
But then that double cross
twist.
And that double cross got instantaneously double crossed and he exploded into mist. He exploded so hard. He just like the biggest part of him was like a fingernail. It was incredible. Just like straight misted. That was good. The fight with Ron Perlman was pretty meh. I guess he got suplexed. I don't know. He asked him, "Can you blush?" and then cut his face off. So, or face in half. Face in half. I don't know. It's kind of good. See, there's some funny parts. Exactly. This, I don't know. Okay, Lisa, what'd you think about the House of Pain? I have that in my notes where they're like eating off live people, like taking like parts of their body off in that club.
That was not great either.
I figured
I like how she warns him going in though. She's like, look, you're going to see some shit, but you can't do anything about it.
Like he didn't just murder a whole like club of vampires in the last movie.
That's not his mission this time. Come on. You got to find Nomak. Yeah. So these are basically like the meth. These are the meth vampires, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are meth vampires. The original villain was going to be Morbius in this one.
Really?
What do you think about that?
Well, so who would it have been? We know it's Jared Leto now, and in all cases, I would be against that. But who back in 2002 or whatever would have been a good Morbius?
Probably Heath Ledger.
Early
2000s Heath Ledger. Come on, all day.
Maybe Johnny Depp at that point, right?
Maybe like Orlando, or I'll go the other way. I'll go Orlando Bloom. I'll go the other direction.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
What about Daniel Radcliffe for Lisa?
Well, he would have been like 5
in 2002.
Yeah, he would have been.
How old would he have been there?
Super young.
I have how old is this guy? I have no clue.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. How old is he? I have no idea.
No, he would have been in 2002. I mean, he would have been a kid.
Alan Rickman as Morbius. let's talk realistic people now.
What? A lot less fight scenes, if that's the case.
Could you imagine? I've been waiting for you, Blade. I can't do it, Alan Rickman. That was terrible. But he just sitting there with that same with Blade. Oh my god, that'd be tight. You just hear that.
Why not have Elmo be?
I'm not going to play into that one, but
come on.
No, you can't. We can't go to the Elmo well too often.
Well, fine then. That's sad.
Why don't we do the Sean Connery or the other 3 impressions we got?
Lisa, what's your best impression? What's your absolute
my best impression?
Yeah.
I don't know, Mitch. What's my best impression?
I don't know. You don't do impressions
a fraud
often.
This is a fraud
Probably
question.
Poppy.
Poppy's a weird one though. Like you've got to really be aware of what the hell Poppy is, and plus your impression of Poppy's good because you get the deadpan expression down.
Yes,
like just the voice doesn't do a whole lot. You got to get the full picture for the Poppy impression.
I'm Poppy.
Yeah, it is good.
I'm weird, and I only talk like this all the time.
Yeah, not bad.
I don't know who Poppy is.
For those of you that don't know Poppy, look up Poppy. That was
Poppy's
dead.
a real
That was spot on.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think in terms of anything else that happens in this movie, the ending's dumb. this like I hate vampires except for this one I've got a little bit of a crush on now. All right.
because he got to know her. Come on, he only looked at them as
did he?
He only looked at them as having, of just being the enemy. But then when he got to spend time with her and realized she wasn't that bad of a vampire person, there was a couple sensual scenes where there's some sucking of blood, and a nice holding for a sunrise. Nice little catch the sunrise together. It was basically like a rom-com. So
I don't like any of the words you use to describe any of that.
Just watch this movie. Just watch it. I'm gonna watch it again now.
You can pretty much stop after the sewer scene.
No, come on. That's where you get the real meat of the story here. And let that Nomad guy kills dozens of people to get to him too. Still at the end.
Why is Papadopoulos' blood green?
It's because he's so old.
That doesn't make any sense, Nate.
He's so old. He's so old.
No,
it's ridiculous.
That's dumb.
It's because he's old.
He would not look that old.
Have you guys seen the canon, the vampire canon show, What We Do in the Shadows? There's also old vampires there that have different blood. You're welcome. So there you go.
Oh God,
okay,
I do.
Unsuspecting victim opinion. Watch that show instead of watching this movie.
I say watch both. Perfect. They're actually perfect compliment to each other.
The Vampire Council is pretty great. That's such a great episode,
Exactly.
especially because Blade showing up on Zoom really.
Exactly, it's crossover. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh my! I guess so. Now after this, he's decided. You know what? I'm going to be on the Vampire Council. Is that where he is in his life now?
I mean, you got to do Blade Trinity next. You got just if you want to hear Ryan Reynolds wisecracking to some of the most ridiculous lines ever written for him, Blade Trinity is your movie. You got Jessica Biel. You got all kinds of stuff happening in the third one. You got Triple H.
Look,
you got Parker Posey.
None of it is good. None of that movie is good.
I don't know about that. It's not as good as the second one, but it's okay.
Anything else, Nate? You want to talk about?
It's almost all comedy in that one.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a Ryan Reynolds vehicle.
They're not trying to be like, oh yeah, this is scary. They're not trying to do. There's no scariness in that one at all. It's just comedy for comedy's sake.
Anything else that you want to talk about with this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This movie is just so good, but I will say this: so this movie is R-rated, is an R-rated vampire action comic book movie. That does not happen very often. So I just want to give a shout out to being like the OG R-rated, kind of movie.
Yeah,
like that is based like a Marvel property, like that made a bunch of money. I mean, this made $155 million. Original one made 150 also, very like, or 130 or something like that. A lot. I mean, these are kind of like the progenitors. So I'll give them credit there. Then everything went downhill as soon as the other Marvel movies got made. But until then, this was the peak here. So yeah, just a shout out for that.
This is what peak comic book performance looks like. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think so. I think this is probably it. I don't think it's going to get any. I don't think they're going to redo Blade and it's going to be better than this one.
No,
come on. I mean,
no.
that seems unlikely. Yeah. Seems unlikely at this point. And I would say one more thing. Roger Ebert gave this film 3.5 out of 4 stars. So take that however you want.
I don't know how to take that, honestly.
He loved this movie. You would not have expected that.
No.
So there you go. See? There you go.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, look, with that said, I need to know, what's your final cut?
Final cut.
Okay. Nate, you've been gushing over this movie, so I think let's let you set the high bar. Let's set the high water mark for this one, and then we'll see where Lisa and I land on it.
So the body count for this movie is 110.
Jesus.
But I can't quite give it a 10 out of 10. I will give this 8 out of 10 bloodbaths. It is this is like peak early 2000s action. This side of Matrix Reloaded. Very good film. Guillermo del Toro, you can clearly see he had a lot of creative license on this one, right? I mean, he made it a Guillermo del Toro movie. You have the way creepier creatures. You have like wide zoomed out fight scenes that he said he shot like musicals. So take that however you want. And there's definitely an overarching kind of Greek tragedy, Frankenstein type vibe to the whole thing with the creature Nomak. It was real good. Soundtrack's got some bangers on it. I would say some of the fights got a little meh in there. But the overall cast was good. And yeah, just saw the ending. I said the ending was a little meh. Ron Perlman fight was a little meh. Other than that, extremely solid. Yes, 8 out of 10.
Interesting. I mean, look, I'll go on record say the first movie's better. The first Blade is better than Blade 2. I don't know. I mean, Nate, do you disagree with that? I'm guessing, right?
I definitely disagree with that. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, you're wrong, but I think
there's really no scares or like scariness or creepiness really in the first one very much. So that's why I give this one the nod, because it's got the creature designs.
Yeah, but I think the villain is a little bit better. Like, the problem with this one is that it's closer to a zombie movie than a vampire movie at the end of the day. Nothing wrong with that. Just that's what it is. I mean,
there's a lot of vampires in this one. I don't know.
Yeah, but they behave more like zombies. That they're a whole bunch of them. They're transmitting. They're kind of similar in general at the beginning anyway. I don't know. I really like Steven Dorff as the villain in the first Blade. I don't know that the villain in this one is And
the villain is Damaskinos in this one.
Sure. Well, I don't know. All I will say is I thought the first one was better. I do agree that I think Wesley Snipes was very good in this one and certainly a lot more comfortable in the role. I think certainly in the first one, it's much more of a brooding. There's no real like, there's some funny lines, but I don't think they're necessarily intended to be funny. This one, he's very much like in the more comic book, like, super cool bullshit. Right.
Yeah. But it's just before it goes full Blade Trinity, right? Like it's that in between Blade 1 and like Blade 3 where it's like, oh God.
Yeah, it hadn't totally jumped the shark. I do. Exactly. Yeah, some of the fights, a lot of the fight scenes are really good. They had like legitimately good action stars. I just wish they hadn't had such reliance on CGI and the places they did it. I like the idea of like doing some stuff to really sell that these aren't just normal people fighting. They're, fucking vampires and half vampires and whatever. But where they did the CGI looked really weird. It still looks weird today. It looked weird back then. It wasn't even, it's, too fake for what they were trying to do. And like I said, for me, once we get out of the sewers and the cool vampires are gone, and now we're dealing with like all the oh yeah, I was gonna betray you because I'd rather be a pet than a cattle, and blah. It's like I knew you were gonna betray me, and that's why it's okay, sure.
I swapped the poison before you swapped the poison.
Right. Exactly. It got a little much. I would have rather spent more time in the sewers.
You gotta admit, him exploding was incredible.
No, it was great. I just would have preferred all that happening more in the sewers. Okay. You know, it would have been cooler had they actually like captured the son, and then like Blade had like go help him or something. I don't know. There could be other ways to do it. It was fine. I'm going to give this movie 6 out of 10 UV bullets.
Oh, okay. It's pretty high.
I liked it. It was much better than I seem to remember thinking when I first saw it.
Okay. All right.
But first Blade higher for me. So yeah. Lisa, where do you land on this one?
It was okay. It's.
Can you think of the one good thing yet?
Well, I was gonna say not unsuspecting, or I was gonna say unsuspecting victim friendly, but not really because of the predator jaw thing.
Yeah.
The fight scenes were good. There were just a ton of them. But I like the main actors in this. So I'll probably middle of the road give it a 5 out of 10 UV light rays.
Got it. So this is the best Guiller-May del Toro movie so far.
Yes. Hands down.
Yes.
Then
it can only go up from here.
I gave Mama a 6 too, right?
You did, yes.
This 6 may be where I'm staying for most Guiller-May del Toro. I mean, we'll see. We see what else is on this month, but strong start? I don't know. This is we'll see.
I'd say extremely strong.
Oh Lord. Nate, where can they find us?
You can find us as always at TX Pod Massacre on Twitter, Texas Podcast Massacre everywhere else. Give us a call, 346-246-3143. We do have a voicemail in the bank that we will probably use in a later episode. But give us a call. Let us know. Are you Team Gray or Team Decrepit? Are you Team Blade or Team Blade 2? The basement of teams for the Blade franchise, if you will. So take that however you want. And yeah, Guiller-May del Toro will continue with the Guillermo del Toro produced movie, The Orphanage. So we're back to Lisa's favorite topic, children in peril.
Yeah,
excitement.
No child was in danger in this film. Is it really in a Guillermo del Toro film?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Were there any? There was no kids in
Nate's about to drop his score.
Yeah, I kind of rounded down anyway, so I guess it's fine. Yeah, well, don't worry. The other 3 movies of this month, they all have kids in harm's way.
Oh my god, we have 3 more movies. Oh my god, poor Lisa.
3 out of 4. No, just 2 more. There was Mama, and there's only 2 more. I promise. Yeah.
Lisa's just like, please.
I promise.
Won't someone think of the children? Oh goodness! Well, all right. I can't wait. I can't wait to end the month with Mac and Me.
Now hold on a second. Now, Lisa, there are a few horror movies where the children kill the adults. Is there a theme month for Payback that you'd like to see instead?
Oh man, yeah, but I got to think about what it is. I'll figure it out.
There are some films where the kids are all the murderers of the adults.
Next year we'll do it'll be Mother May I.
Oh my god.
And on that note, from all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you. That was too sweet. I don't even know what I was saying. For all of us here at Texas Podcast Massacre, thank you so much for tuning in, and just keep telling yourself it's only a movie. Good night.